am Mariska hargitay, and this is Amaya, and this is Melody. We know that this is a very challenging time for a lot of families right now, and one of the things that we love to do as a family is to read together, to read stories out loud together. And so when American Girl asked me to read a chapter of Melody, no ordinary sound, I was thrilled to help to read a chapter for their free online library. And we wanted to share something that we love to do together. So here we go. Ready?
Yep.
All righty. Meet the Ellisons, Chapter 1. It was a perfect day in May, and Melody Ellison could hardly wait for her father to pull the car to a stop in front of her grandparents' house. Every Sunday, Melody and her family had dinner here after church, but today was different. Melody was almost bursting with news. She hopped out of the station wagon so quickly that she forgot to hold the door open for her sister Lila, who was coming out behind her. "Hey!" Lila shouted, but 9-year-old Melody was already on the front porch, peering into the front windows. She could hear music coming from inside and couldn't help tapping her shiny shoes. Music always made her want to move. "What are you so hot after?" asked Dwayne, Melody's older brother. His long legs had brought him around the car and up behind her in only a few steps. "I'm not hot," Melody answered, before she realized that Dwayne was joking. He meant that she was excited, and she was. She couldn't hold in her news any longer. "Miss Dorothy asked me to sing a solo for Youth Day," she said proudly. Youth Day was far away in October, but it was the biggest children's program at their church. Kids from all over the city came to sing, play music, recite poetry, and even perform in skits. Only a few kids got the chance to stand in front to sing solo parts. And they had to be very, very good. Dwayne raised his eyebrows, like you do, and Melody watched his face nervously. It wasn't easy to impress him. Dwayne was 18, and he had done his first solo when he was 8. "Wow, congratulations," he said. "You got to write Yvonne and tell her." Melody grinned. Yvonne was their older sister who was away at college. She was a good singer, too. In fact, all of the members in Melody's family were musical. "I will," she promised, "as soon as we get home." "Tell Yvonne what?" Lila joined them, carrying a plate with her mother's foil-wrapped triple chocolate cake. "Melody is going to be the star of the New Hope Baptist Church Youth Day," Dwayne said, grabbing the plate as it wobbled. "Just like I'm going to be the biggest Motown star since Smokey Robinson." Lila sniffed matter-of-factly. Dee Dee might beat you to it. Lila was 13 and sometimes acted as if she knew everything in the world. "Not me," Melody shook her head. She liked to pretend that she was a singing star at home, using her hairbrush as a microphone. I wonder who else does that. But she didn't like to be in the spotlight. I'm going to call you Melody. She felt safe in the children's choir when the congregation was full of church family that she'd known all her life. But she was nervous about standing alone on Youth Day in front of a big crowd full of faces that she didn't know. Melody's parents crowded onto the porch as Big Mama swung open the door. Melody had always thought it was funny that they called her grandmother Big Mama since she wasn't especially tall, but the name was a sign of respect. Besides, her grandmother sang, and her voice was very big. "Hello, my chicks," Big Mama said, waving everyone inside. She greeted each of her grandchildren with the rose-scented squeeze. I love that. "Big Mama, this is Detroit, Michigan. You left all your chickens back in Alabama, remember?" Dwayne said, ducking out of her arms. After giving Melody a hug, Big Mama folded her arms and gave him a stern look. "I believe you've got something to tell me," she said. "Yes!" Melody exclaimed. "Miss Dorothy asked me to learn a solo over the summer for the Youth Day She stopped. Big Mama was smiling and nodding. You already knew, Melody said. How? Big Mama and Miss Dorothy are best friends, Lila said. They tell each other everything. Big Mama laughed. Yes, Dorothy and I trained to be music teachers back in Alabama. She says that you're ready to carry a song on your own. Who was ready for what? Melody's mother asked from the dining room. Melody's doing a Youth Day solo, Lila told her. Oh, that's wonderful, honey. Mrs. Ellison clapped her hands and rushed to give Melody a hug. I believe that our Melody is ready to sing out, Mr. Ellison said as he placed the extra chairs around the dining table. Melody heard the pride of her father's voice and wished that she felt as confident as he did. Big Mama put her arms around Melody's shoulders. It's okay to be nervous, baby chick, she said, reading Melody's mind. You have all summer to practice, and I'll help. But what about your students? Melody asked. Big Mama taught piano and voice lessons to kids and grown-ups right here in her living room. Don't worry, I'll find the time. Thanks, Big Mama. Melody felt her nerves flutter again, but she felt good knowing that her family believed in her so much. She skipped into the dining room to join Lila, Dwayne, and her parents at the table. Melody sat next to Mommy and looked at Dwayne, who was at the other end of the table. The thing about Youth Day is that I get to pick my own song, Melody told her brother, but I don't know which one to sing. We could try some songs after dinner, Dwayne winked at Melody. She knew that he took every chance he could to play Big Mama's beloved piano. After dinner means that we need to eat dinner first, doesn't it? Melody's father said. But we can't start without Papa, Dwayne said. Where was her grandfather anyway? Melody wondered. Before she could ask, she heard the back door of the house open and shut. Hello! Papa's voice boomed. Papa always talked loud. Melody's mother said it was because of his work around all those loud machines years ago at the auto factory. Melody liked the sound. It reminded her of drum beats. Guess who I brought to dinner? Papa called from the kitchen. Everyone turned in his direction. He opened the door, and there stood Yvonne with a huge smile on her face. Vonnie! Melody ran to give her big sister a hug. What a surprise, Mrs. Ellison said. We didn't expect to see you till next week. Melody could tell that her mother was very happy. Yvonne had been gone since January. I took all my exams and I finished my last paper early, so I caught the bus, Yvonne explained. Papa picked me up at the Detroit terminal. Boy, that ride from Alabama takes forever. She barely took a breath before dropping her bag and greeting everyone. Wow, Dee Dee, did you get taller? Got any new sounds, Dwayne? Lila, are those new glasses? Dad, you're wearing the birthday shirt that we gave you. Big Mama, the roast smells really good. And Mommy, I know that you made that triple chocolate cake. Can we eat? Melody laughed. College hasn't changed Yvonne's habit of talking a mile a minute. Big Mama brought the roast in, and everybody took their place around the table, with Papa at one end and Daddy at the other. And now the family was truly all together, the way their Sundays used to be. Dee Dee, why don't you sing Grace for us? Her father said. Yes, Daddy, Melody said. She felt comfortable singing in front of this crowd, so she bowed her head and she sang in a strong, clear voice. By thy hands must we be fed. Give us, Lord, our daily bread.